Friends, just imagine, on Earth, all humans have disappeared. Now, only one man and one lady remain, who were completely alone in the beginning. But eventually, how will they survive? This we will have to see soon. In the beginning of the story, we are shown a man named Martin, who had been living alone in the jungle for years. Martin had built himself a cottage in Parsi, where he found relief as he couldn't find food. The reason for Martin's friend's death was due to not finding food, and now Martin returns after burying him. There were some traps set on the way by the soil, which trapped animals in them. Martin used to cultivate vegetables in front of his house so that he could have food. Martin's entire day's bread was this. He would go out to find food for himself, the society searching, and then return home and lock himself in. Due to the spread of a strange virus, many humans had died, and now the number of humans had decreased to less than 1%. But Martin still hoped that humans existed somewhere. Martin had been living alone in this way for many years on end. He didn't even have an idea of how others lived. In Martin's hand was also a photo of his wife. Martin's entire family had been killed. Now, in the morning, after them, Martin saw two ladies in front of his house. Martin immediately took out his gun because now whoever was left was killing others to satisfy their hunger. That's why Martin aimed his gun for protection. Both women's mother's name was Catherine and her daughter's name was Kit. Catherine was speaking very peacefully with Martin, as both the mother and daughter hadn't eaten anything from others, and now they were asking Martin for help, asking him to give them something to eat or let them stay here for a while. However, Martin didn't want this. Because only two people's food was available here, Katerina suggests that he can do her daughter's work. After this deal, Martin was ready. Now, Martin brings both of them into the house and serves them vegetable soup. Katerina was asking Martin if they could stay here because if they stayed here, they could help Martin in farming vegetables, so they would have more vegetables and could get more. Although Martin felt this was right, he wasn't convinced yet to keep them here because he knew that only 2 lives' food was available here, and if there was a shortage of food, they would resort to such actions. Now, Catherine walks her daughter to Martin's house. She had sent her daughter to Martin, and both were intimate all night. Now, after the morning, Martin was thinking that they could leave here, although Catherine was ready to hand over her daughter to Martin forever. But Martin still didn't agree. Catherine was telling Martin that maybe her daughter Kit had fallen in love with him. Actually, by saying all this, Catherine wanted to trap Martin, to get permission for them to stay here. But Martin firmly told them to leave. However, Kit had become very close to Martin, and without saying anything, she would go to shave Martin's gate. She wanted to show Martin how much she loved him. Martin had spent so many years alone, so he gave Catherine and Kit the mission to stay here. Now, the 3 of them started farming vegetables together, so that in a short time, the quantity of vegetables increased significantly, and now they had so much food that they could eat to their fill. Martin started to love Catherine and Kit a lot, but this whole thing seemed like a deception in a way. Now, Catherine talks to her daughter Kit, saying that if they both kill Martin together, then this whole place will be theirs. So, together they start making plans on how to kill Martin. Keeping a close eye on Martin, Kit informs her mother about her plan. Martin had to keep his bullets in the pocket behind his paint, so when one night, Kit had come very close to Martin, he had taken out his bullets very carefully. Now, when morning came, Catherine sent the gate away so that when Catherine killed Martin, Kit wouldn't be present there. Then, she went to the riverbank to wash her hands and face. Catherine's plan was to attack Martin from behind and kill him. But then Martin noticed a boot mark in his garden. Martin understood whose mark it was, so he went into the jungle to find Kit. Catherine was with Martin, but Kit was not found near the river. In fact, Kit had been caught by a man who was harassing her. Martin had seen the other man, and went to put his bullets back in the gun, but then Martin realized that his bullets were missing. Surely, someone must have intentionally done this. But still, Martin goes to save Kit. The other man had taken out his gun and fired at Martin. Martin, with a lot of pain due to the wound, quickly takes Catherine to the cottage. There was a lot of blood. Martin had to go to get treatment, but Catherine's plan to finish Martin was now even easier. If she didn't treat Martin, he would die anyway. That's why Catherine didn't properly treat Martin, but then she tells Kit that they will have to treat Martin because he saved their lives. After hearing all these things, Catherine becomes convinced to treat Martin, and now she uses all her knowledge of herbal medicine to cure Martin. Both of them are completely fine now, but perhaps these things will lead to more complications in the future. One day, Martin hears the sound of many people coming from outside. They were all those cannibalistic people who used to eat humans. So now, Martin, Catherine, and Kit quietly hide in a room. They weren't making any noise at all because if those cannibalistic people saw them, they would devour all three of them. After staying quiet for a while, all those people left. When Martin, Catherine, and Kit come out of the house, they see that their vegetable garden has been completely ravaged. This loss was caused by those cannibalistic people. After this, there was nothing left for Martin, Catherine, and Kit to eat. Even though they had started growing new crops from seeds, it would take quite some time for the vegetables to come. The three of them were hungry for many days now. Now it was evident that Catherine was pregnant, but she didn't want her child to be born in such conditions where humans were killing each other. Gate hadn't even told Martin about her pregnancy yet. As time passed, Catherine fell asleep. She was very tired. She tells her daughter again that they should kill Martin together because they had very few vegetables left for food. Even the kids were starving. The story was accepted for this reason. Now, Catherine goes into the jungle to get poisonous mushrooms with the intention that she would mix those poisonous mushrooms in Martin's food. The next day started with so little food left for Martin and the others. When Martin and the others wake up after drinking the soup, they start feeling sick. Catherine's plan had started working. Gate's plan was revealed when Martin started feeling very unwell, and it became evident that Gate hadn't mixed the poisonous mushrooms in Martin's suit but in Catherine's soup. Catherine was questioning her daughter about the reason for mixing the poisonous mushrooms in the soup. That's when Kit reveals that if she stays with them, she will soon become a mother. After this, Gate feels very alone in this entire situation. However, if Kit stays with Martin, he will take care of her very well. Catherine also accepts these things and directly tells Martin to take care of Kit because she wasn't suffering anymore and now Martin had to start living with her just like a husband and wife. Both of them spent many days together like this. One day, when Martin and Kit were roaming in the jungle, they realized that all those cannibalistic people had forcefully entered their house. Martin hides with Gate outside the house, but they realize that they will have to bring vegetables from the house. Kit went to get the vegetables from the house without making any noise. She even saw a knife there, so she took it for her protection. But as soon as she was returning with the vegetables, she heard a slight noise from Gate. So all those cannibalistic people noticed Kit, and now Kit started running towards the jungle continuously. Martin's attention was on saving Kit, but all of them were stuck due to the trap set up by Gate. An animal trap caught one of the cannibalistic men, and he started running towards Gate like an animal. But due to the trap placed there, he got stuck, giving Gate a chance to escape, and she directly went to Martin. However, now, the soil had attracted all those cannibalistic people towards it, which caused Martin to fall prey to them completely. Martin was trying to escape from the Gate here, though Gate didn't want to go. She didn't want to go, but she had to go forcibly, and now all those cannibalistic people had ended Martin's life. Martin's body was being eaten by them, and among those cannibalistic people, The devil within humans was being showcased. After Martin's actions, Gate becomes quite distressed. She was progressing through the jungle in the same way. If she hadn't eaten or drunk anything, so she was wandering in the jungle. Many more humans were present there, literally living and farming. Gate insists on coming inside because cannibalistic people would take her away. The officers said that voting would be conducted on this matter, and if all the members of the community agreed, Gate would be allowed inside. In this way, the story concludes. In fact, an estimate of our future has been made in this story, suggesting that in the coming few hundred years, our conditions will be like this, and then humans will become enemies of humans. But if we understand the meaning of being together on time, we can help each other like a family so that our Earth and humanity will survive.